What's up you guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yesterday Hasbro Pulse finally revealed the wave for Antman and the Wasp Quantamania that everybody's been looking for. So these were leaked a couple of months ago, and a lot of people hadn't seen the figures that they were going to do. So yesterday we finally got some looks at the final wave, and of course the Build-A-Figure too. So let's talk about this in a little bit of detail. So obviously we got an MCU Antman, and it's based on his new costume from the movie. It's exactly what you're going to look for in an Antman figure. I have seen better sculpts of Paul Rudd's face than this though before, which I don't know. If you're an MCU collector, I'm sure you'll be into it. And of course, sticking with the MCU, let's get those out of the way first. We do have another MCU Wasp. Now, the one thing that would annoy me if I was buying this figure is that they have based her on the old female body. So you got single jointed elbows, no bicep swivels. A fail right out the gate for me, if I'm going to be honest about it. And then of course, you've got the MCU Kang. Now this thing, I'm going to be honest, is an absolute thing of beauty. It is a fantastic figure, looks fantastic. And this is almost one of the best, most comic accurate costumes we've seen in the MCU. Now there has been plenty that are very good, but this one just looks fantastic. I'd almost be tempted to buy this myself if I didn't already have a perfectly good comic Kang that came out maybe 2 years ago. Has the whole everything about it. So I don't need a Kang, but this Kang for MCU and comic collectors who don't have one looks amazing. Now then we get to some really obscure Ant-Man figures. And I'm going to be honest, some of these I've not heard of until yesterday. And there was one I had only heard the name, I suppose. So the first one for me, Future Ant-Man, I had no idea of this character. Now I know it is a fairly new character, and to me it looks kind of a mashup of the Kamen Rider and Black Manta from DC Comics. But see, because of that, this figure looks really nice. Some people said he looked like Black Ant as well, or thought he was Black Ant. But yeah, so that is the Future Ant-Man. Then we had Egghead. Now this figure looks really cool to me. I'm a sucker for terrible, crappy looking Z-list villains. And this guy I think fits right in that bracket. He's like the Coneheads, if you remember that movie with Dan Aykroyd. And yeah, it looks really obscure and awful. That's why I kind of want him. He does of course look to be using the Mr. Fantastic body from the Fantastic Four, not the body, but the jacket from the Fantastic Four Classics wave. So yeah, that's possibly one I would really think about buying. Now this one kind of annoyed me because it's kind of pointless. They've done a new comic version of Ultron. Now if you look at the body, it is basically the exact same as the Ursa Major wave version of Ultron, which I do have already. The head is new, the paint is a bit different. But other than that, not if you don't have one, he's a good pickup. But if not, pointless. And the last one for me, which this one I have no clue who he is, or I haven't even looked him up yet, is Marvel's Crossfire. It looks very like Deadshot from DC Comics, but he does look really good, and he does look different enough to stand out. Now, I don't know if he's a villain or not, but he could easily fit into that shitty Z-list version of characters that I like. My one disappointment about this figure is the old body they seem to be using. I think it could be, it's the same one as US Agent maybe. But yeah, it doesn't look great to me. But other than that, the character selection is really good. And of course, for the Bath, we've got Cassie Lang in her giant woman version. So Stature basically is who the Bath is. And if you're not into the MCU, you needn't get this one. The face sculpt does not look good, I'm going to be honest. It doesn't look like Catherine Newton whatsoever. So yeah, this wave might peg warm a little bit. So if you're going to pick up a few characters, maybe it might be worth waiting. But other than that, if you want them all, go get them. There's some really deep cuts in there for those of you who know about them. Me, I know some of them I don't. and some of them I really want despite not knowing them. So it's a pretty mixed bag for me. So guys, if you like this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, do all those lovely things, and we will see you on the next one. Goodbye!